It can get sketchy here in LA, so anytime I leave the house, I carry my Glock 19, pepper spray, and a fat PP. But the issue is, all of these options have a relatively short effective range.
I hit a damn thing.
A couple weeks ago, and only a few miles from Santa Monica, some guy climbed to the roof of his apartment complex and started shooting randomly into pedestrians.
There's a guy on a roof shooting.
In this scenario, the shooter positioned himself far enough where it would be unsafe and highly impractical to defend yourself using only a CCW pistol. Most handguns are intended to be used for close encounters, so within 7 yards. So anything beyond that, like in this example, we're now talking about ideally using a completely different class of long-barreled rifles. Pistol rounds like the 9mm can obviously travel more than 7 yards. So my next question is there a long-range pistol that I can legally conceal carry in California? So you're probably thinking, Ryan, just conceal carry a PCC. It will easily fit off-body in a backpack and it's semi-auto. Well, I can't. AR-style pistols are not legal to conceal carry here. What about a bolt-action pistol? On paper, it's a pistol with a mounted rifle scope, making it super Nope. I can't legally buy one since it's not on the California handgun roster. Despite all of the restrictions, I think I came up with a solution for this non-existent problem. What if I combine the semi-auto benefits of an AR pistol and the precision of having a rifle scope all in one package? That gives you this. But before I show you that, let's figure out how far we can actually shoot a normal handgun. Most pistol drills are practiced at 7 yards, so we'll start there and work our way up. It's 7 yards away. My group size at 7 yards was pretty decent, except for the last shot flyer, but if you shoot enough, you know that's literally impossible to avoid on the last shot. Scooting back to 50 yards, this is already an impractical shooting scenario, but not anything unheard of. Also, look at my sights. They're basically the size of the entire target. One, two, three, four. I'm sure there's a flyer somewhere. 100 yards is now entering unrealistic territory for a pistol. There are practically no reasons to take this shot unless you are filming a clickbait video and posting it on YouTube. Yeah, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. That's not bad. Let's push it out to 200 yards now. Taking a shot like this makes absolutely no sense. And just by using the data from the previous 100-yard test, we can actually get a pretty good idea of how tight our groupings would be at any distance. And that's because bullet dispersion generally scales linearly with distance. That means if you have a 1-inch grouping at 100 yards, at 500 yards it'll be 5 inches, and at 1,000 yards it will be 10 inches. Because my group size at 100 yards was about 20 inches, at 200 yards we're looking at a 40-inch group size. There's no way, dude. There's no fucking way. This is stupid. But in practice, it'll be a lot worse because my precision relies on too many external factors. So I'm not entirely surprised that I got no hits at 200 yards. I needed a new gun for this experiment, so when I walked into the gun store, I basically recreated the scene from The Quick and the Dead.
I don't have any money.
What's the cheapest gun you got? Not in the case. I mean the cheapest piece of worthless crap you got in the whole miserable store.
And that's what this is. I like to introduce what I like to call the Scoped High Point Impact Tool, aka shit. This piece of shit is a Hi-Point C9 chambered in 9mm that cost only $100. It has a Picatinny rail which would normally be installed on a rifle. The scope is an Arken EPL4 because it was within my budget. When I reached out to Vortex to see if they'd lend me a scope, they just said this video idea was stupid. But I'll show them. Oh, that's dangerous. Oh, there we go, like that, CC?
I'm familiar with this. So what are the odds that thing's gonna cycle?
Almost zero. Before I even took the first test shot, I found out that this gun is one-hand loadable. It's super versatile and definitely not sketchy. I'm scared, dude.
Getting hit in the face?
Yeah, I'm just so shaky. This trigger sucks so bad.
No free advertising for High Point, please.
Oh! I forgot to put my ears on. Oh, that's loud. So no, it doesn't cycle. Despite this becoming a single shot pistol now, I still retain the ability to conceal carry it legally with the increased accuracy potential never seen from a CCW pistol. To test its accuracy in the field, we set up a more realistic scenario where I can only go for headshots. And no, the orange balloon is not a political statement. It's just easier to see. From this point on, I'm only giving myself 10 shots. If I pop the balloon, we'll move farther away and do it again. Let's start at 100 yards. Ready?
Yep.
This is a viable weapon system. The army's gonna be knocking on our door any second, or the ATF. Let's try 200 yards, which is where we failed last time with iron sights. But now since we have this piece of shit, it'd be insane if we can actually get a headshot using only 10 bullets.
Couldn't see.
At this distance, the bullet is dropping around 34 inches from its 0 point.
This thing is fucking awesome!
With only 3 attempts, we managed to hit the target with this huge piece of scoped high point impact tool. Now let's bump it out to 300 yards. For 300 yards, I'm gonna have to aim about 114 inches above the target, which is about 10 feet. All right, let's try it.
Nothing.
Getting kind of near it.
Oh, that was really close.
Getting close.
Wow.
Are you serious? Yeah. 10 feet above the target, man.
Was that even in the scope?
No, it was in the scope. Because I'm at 6 power right now. And I'm just aiming 10 feet above it.
Oh my god.
Scooting back to 500 yards, which, to give you some sense of scale, is about half of 1,000 yards, the bullet now drops about 450 inches, or around 37 feet. 37 feet.
494. No, you cannot do that.
I can't, but this can. But unfortunately,
Nothing, nope, maybe, nothing, nah.
with my 10 bullets, I couldn't quite connect with the target using this weapon in its current configuration.
Can't see a damn thing.
Can't see a damn thing.
No.
So I think the limit for the high point is around 300 yards, which is honestly 300 yards more than I expected. But I don't think that's the limit for the 9mm round. If you look at the ballistic charts, our velocity at 500 yards goes down to around 670 feet per second. That's still super lethal. Like I mentioned before, the trigger sucks and feels like a staple gun, and I'm actually kind of afraid to shoot it. All factors contributing to worse precision. We need to go back to the drawing board to figure out how we could turn a pistol into a long-range weapon system. So this is plan B. I'm gonna go back to the Glock 19 because the trigger is unarguably better than the staple gun we were using. Let's also swap out the totally sufficient and great personality 4-inch factory barrel for a 16-incher. This will probably increase our bullet velocity, thus reducing bullet drop, which I suppose is better. Please come back. To solve the issue where I'm afraid of shooting this gun, I'm going to swap the optics for an LVPO, which has way more scope relief. And to eliminate shakiness, I got a beefy adjustable tripod as well as an Arca Swiss mounting plate that slides onto the Glock's Picatinny rail. This all still fits in the backpack and is technically legal to carry, being the whole purpose of this project. Bingo. But before we take it back out to 500 yards, we need to check its precision and velocity. I was getting solid group sizes and I was beginning to think we may actually have a shot at 500. And as expected, there was a significant jump in velocity because of the longer barrel. 1354. That 20% increase in velocity translates to roughly 35 inches and less drop at 500 yards. At that distance, I need every bit of help I can get, which also includes we got a giant nut sack here, one boob. David's working on the second boob. No! We're using a drone as a spotter because it's almost impossible to see dirt impacts from 5 football fields away. There's about 400 inches of bullet drop as well as a 25-mile-per-hour crosswind, which is going to make this shot even more difficult than before.
Ready? Ready.
But unfortunately, things were looking a lot like last time. There was no signs of impact on the first 5 shots. I was beginning to think that the wind had too much effect on the bullet. But then, on the right edge of the screen, we got a dirt impact way behind the target. Now it was just a matter of walking the shots back and some more luck.
Right above it.
Just a little bit more,
Oh, looks like we got the crotch.
and just under 10 shots, we were able to sack tap a mannequin with a concealed carry handgun 5 football fields away. But you may be wondering, is the bullet even lethal at that distance? The bullet is still traveling at 710 feet per second, which is 139 foot-pounds of energy. To visualize that, imagine taking your fat PP and combining it with 8 others to make 1 pound. This is like getting smacked in the face by 9 fat PPs traveling over 11 miles per hour. Also really neat, you can actually visualize how quickly the bullet drops off by just looking at this graph. This is the bullet drop at 500 yards, and even something ridiculous like 1 mile. And because somebody's got to try it, we're gonna go on this mound here, which is a mile away. And we can't even see the target. Damn, we going up. Alright,
Dude, there's a fucking cave here.
Oh, there's a cave. Fuck the project, man.
Wait, get the gun.
At 1 mile, the bullet is traveling in the air just over 11 seconds. It's also going to lose over 80% of its velocity, and the estimated drop is around 15,000 inches. In other words, I need to aim over 1,250 feet above the target. But there's a problem with that. A normal scope is going to have around 40 MOA of adjustment built in. Even the rifle that made the world's longest shot had a custom-made base along with a periscope that gave it a staggering 350 MOA of elevation adjustment. Our Glock at 1 mile would need around 800 MOA of turret elevation adjustment, which would look something like this. Or, since we know the bullet drop is around 1,250 feet, and we know the distance to the target is 5,280 feet, we can take the arctangent and calculate the angle we should point the gun at. This is basically artillery, and completely stupid. But if you're still somehow curious, it comes out to be around 13 degrees, which basically looks like we're aiming at the sun. But screw it, we're already here. At this moment, I'd like to point out how preemptively smart I was to limit the challenge to 10 bullets per distance. But yes, it is definitely possible to hit a balloon with a Glock from a mile away, but you would have to litter 1,000 lead slugs into that beautiful hillside. But I'm not going to do that, and that would defeat the whole purpose of an effective concealed carry sniper pistol.
I have an idea.
As I got to my last couple bullets, I will admit to the absurdity and impracticality of this with my final idea. Use the pistol like a pistol. For now. Okay, real talk. If you got hit from a mile away with this Glock, would it even be lethal? Is there even enough juice to pop a balloon? According to the ballistic charts, at 1 mile the bullet is tumbling through the air at around 240 feet per second. Well, coincidentally, that's around the same speed a 9mm bullet's terminal velocity is in freefall. That being said, there are photos that show the impacts made from falling bullets on cars. Studies on celebratory gunfire found that the velocity needed for a bullet to penetrate skin is between 148 and 197 feet per second. And a bullet traveling at least 200 feet per second can still penetrate the skull. But you know what else can easily penetrate a skull? Our metal John Wick pencils are finally back in stock. You guys love the FN Pen 1.0 so much we created the FN Pen 2.0, which now has interchangeable tips. It's now a penetrating tool, a pencil, a pen, a window breaker, and so much more. We have an updated code in our Stabby Labs YouTube channel bio, which can be used on the Stabby Labs website for a discount on your entire order.
There we go.